The Black Hollow forest was unlike any other. The trees were ancient, their gnarled roots twisting through the damp earth like veins of a long-dead creature. The deeper Daniel went, the colder it became. It wasn't just the temperature. The air itself felt wrong, as if something unseen was watching. His lantern flickered, struggling to fight back the thick, creeping darkness. Every step he took, the whispers grew louder. "Daniel, help me," Lena's voice. But something about it felt off. Daniel swallowed hard. He gripped the hunting knife tightly in his right hand and pressed forward, his heart pounding in his chest. Then he saw it, a cabin, barely visible through the mist. It looked ancient, its wooden walls blackened with age, the roof sagging under years of decay. The windows were shattered and the door hung open, creaking slightly in the wind. His gut screamed at him to turn back, but then he heard it again, Lena's voice. Closer now. "Daniel, please." His breath hitched. She was inside. Daniel stepped over the threshold, his boots crunching against something brittle. He looked down and felt his stomach twist. Bones. Small ones. Too small to belong to an animal. The air inside was thick with the stench of rotting wood and something else. Something foul. His lantern cast long, flickering shadows across the room. The walls were lined with old, cracked dolls, their glass eyes watching him from the darkness. Some were missing limbs, others had deep scratches carved into their faces. On the far side of the room, a table stood, covered in strange symbols drawn in dark, dried stains. At its center lay an open book, its pages yellowed with age, the cover bound in something that looked disturbingly like human skin. Daniel felt his pulse quicken. A whisper, right behind him. He spun around, knife raised, but there was nothing there. Then from the corner of the room, something moved. A frail, hunched figure stepped out of the shadows. It was a woman, if she could even be called that. Her skin was gray and sagging, her eyes sunken into black hollows. She wore a tattered cloak, and her lips curled into a twisted smile, revealing blackened teeth. "You seek the girl," she rasped, her voice like dry leaves. Daniel took a step back, his grip on the knife tightening. "Where is she?" The woman chuckled, a sound like bones snapping. "Gone, like the others." Daniel's blood ran cold. The woman tilted her head. "You shouldn't be here, boy. The Hollow knows you now." Then without warning, she lunged. Daniel barely had time to react. He swung the knife wildly, but the woman dissolved into a swirling black mist, her laughter echoing around the cabin. The lantern flickered violently. The walls trembled. The room shifted, stretching and distorting. The symbols on the table glowed a sickly red, and a deep inhuman voice rumbled through the air. "Another soul for the Hollow." The floor split open beneath him, revealing a gaping abyss of swirling shadows. Daniel tried to run, but the darkness pulled him under. When he opened his eyes, he was no longer in the cabin. He stood in a place that should not exist, a vast, empty field covered in thick white fog. The sky above was pitch black, void of stars or a moon. The air was heavy, filled with an unnatural silence. Then he saw them. Dozens of children standing motionless in the fog. Their faces were pale and lifeless, their eyes wide and empty, mouths slightly open as if whispering silent words. Daniel's stomach twisted, and then from the mist, one of them stepped forward. Lena. But something was wrong. Her skin was too pale, her dress torn, and her eyes were completely black. "Lena," Daniel whispered, stepping closer. She tilted her head, staring at him with an expression he didn't recognize. "You shouldn't have come," she whispered. The air grew heavy. The fog swirled violently. A low, guttural growl rumbled through the darkness. Something was coming. Something huge. Daniel's body tensed. He had to get out of here. Fast.